But with the Omicron variant proving to be twice as contagious as the Delta variant, there's very little chance we're going to leave COVID behind in the new year. But what happens when fun in the sun turns into a treacherous treasure hunt? I've got a couple of visitors here who wanted to tell you something. On the count of three, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Anna, the only way I know how to describe today's scene is controlled chaos. Children, as they were contacting their parents, family members, rushed to New Hanover High School, only to be redirected to Williston Middle School down the block. The funding ultimately determining whether the project is derailed or gets the green light. In New Hanover County, Peyton Furtado, WWAY News. You see this trash can? Wildlife officials say you should use this for collecting trash, not catching alligators. These plants might be pretty, but don't be fooled. They're causing erosion for this retention pond and could cause potential flooding for the Carriage Hills community. While cleaning a picture frame, a Hope Chest Thrift employee found a nearly 150-year-old marriage license nailed inside the back. It was so old, only the year, city, and couple's first names, William and Katie, were legible.
And this couple was married in New Jersey, and somehow the certificate found its way to a thrift store on Old Ocean Highway in Bolivia, North Carolina.
A unique find, so WWAY aired a story on the discovery. Not long after, while home in upstate New York, William and Katie DeWorth's great-granddaughter, Irene Cornish, decided to log into Ancestry.com on a whim.
I haven't been on Ancestry in quite a few months, but went on to research a family member on the other side, and I happened to notice I had these messages.
Messages from viewers who were able to track Cornish down. Though Cornish doesn't know how this love story began, she knows her great-grandmother Catherine Havey moved to America toward the end of the Irish potato famine. Her great-grandfather William DeWorth had his own ventriloquy and fire-eating acts, but some questions still remain. Now, though we don't know exactly why that marriage certificate was hidden in the back of that frame, we do know that according to Ancestry.com, William and Catherine had a child out of wedlock 2 years before their marriage certificate was filed. And how the frame wound up in North Carolina.
Sadly, the family homestead, the person that inherited that in the family at one point basically sold everything that was in it to a local thrift shop and ultimately lost the homes.
Though the mystery isn't completely solved, Cornish says she feels more connected than ever to family she's only heard stories about.
When my mother passed away 5 years ago, I don't have any family, immediate family in the area where I live. So I feel a little isolated at times. And so it just felt comforting that, these people are reaching out somehow. I am connected.
In Brunswick County, Peyton Furtado, WWAY News. Well, Hannah, it all goes back to 2018 and this property right behind me. According to the investigation by the Office of the State Auditor, Mayor Debbie Smith's real estate company bought the property using insider information.
This company will get you as a local government in a lot of trouble.
An investigation by State Auditor Beth Wood looks into a transaction that began in 2018. That's when the town of Ocean Isle Beach had its former police station and property appraised after a resident showed interest in buying it. The Board of Commissioners, legal counsel, and the mayor allegedly discussed the $460,000 appraisal and potential sale in a closed session, which according to state statutes is unlawful.
There's a list of topics that may be discussed in closed session, in private by the board. This is not one of them. The sale of the property is not one of them.
The report states in August 2018, Mayor Smith benefited from the confidential information not shared with the public, using the appraisal price to offer $460,670 for the property through her real estate company after the resident never responded.
The appraised price was no secret, but who would know to go to the town and ask for, you had an appraisal done? Yes or no? Oh, what was the price?
According to North Carolina state statutes, public officers are not allowed to derive direct benefit from sales, meaning they can't own more than 10% of the company that buys a product and can't acquire land through the deals. In this case, Smith owns 50% of the real estate company and acquired land.
And then being personally involved in drawing up a contract from a business that she owned 50%. Again, all not in compliance with the law.
The Board of Commissioners announced Smith's offer on September 11th, 2018, giving people just 10 days to make an upset bid. 3 days later, Hurricane Florence arrived. No one submitted another bid for the property.
It's acting on information that the general public doesn't have, which gives you an advantage. And in this case, she was able to purchase the property at $460,670 when nobody else was going to be able to purchase it unless it was an upset bid, which was, I think, around $487,000. So another $23,000.
According to the report, Town Administrator Daisy Ivy drew up 3 contract amendments without board approval, extending the amount of time Smith's real estate company had to pay for the property from weeks to years. Though the sale closed November 5th of last year, Wood believes if the DA pursues criminal charges, the sale could be invalidated. We reached out to the town of Ocean Isle Beach and its administrator. They responded in part, the town maintains that the sale of the former police department property complied with all applicable laws and procedures. Given the ongoing nature of this matter, it would be inappropriate to comment further at this time. The audit was handed over to the district attorney's office for possible criminal charges. District Attorney John David said in part, because we just received this information, I am without the benefit of knowing the depth and scope of the investigation or important facts which underlie the decision to make this referral. Accordingly, we will scrupulously review the information to date to determine the appropriate path forward. Now, we did reach out to commissioners and Mayor Debbie Smith, and though the mayor did not want to do an on-camera interview, she did say she was never aware of any wrongful actions on her part and disagreed with the findings of the state auditor. She also commented it was interesting these findings came out just before a municipal election. We'll have all this and more on our website at WWAYTV3.com. Live in Ocean Isle Beach, I'm Peyton Furtado, WWAY News. For the Fitzgerald family, X marks the spot here at North Topsail Beach. They vacation here every single year. But what happens when fun in the sun turns into a treacherous treasure hunt? The Fitzgeralds have come to Topsail Island almost every summer for the past 35 years. And after time apart due to hurricanes and the pandemic, they decided to revive a family tradition for the younger scallywags.
I remember being really excited, and this is our first time seeing them in a while, so I wanted to do something special for them.
They drew an elaborate map, leading the family's youngest adventurers on a hunt across the beach.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Bonding over buried treasure and making memories along the way. After searching for what felt like hours,
sound it made on the treasure chest, and especially Ryan, he just went, oh my gosh guys, it's real, it's real, and he was just going crazy about it.
We started tearing it apart, we started opening it, we just cleared the way.
The young treasure hunters uncovered a chest full of beads and gold doubloons.
They were all telling me all the different ways they were going to spend their cut of the treasure.
Oh yeah, so it's worth $300,000 to them.
And Xbox.
Yes, they all technology, Xboxes, MacBooks.
And though the kids say finding pirates' booty was the highlight of their trip, their parents say that wasn't the most valuable treasure they found.
Getting to see their faces.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and seeing each other and hanging out.
When I leave, I say 51 more weeks before we come back.
In North Topsail Beach, Peyton Furtado, WWAY News. Well, Randy, according to the family, Tammy Lamb Brown is still recovering from a shattered elbow and several injuries around her ribs and hip from a gunshot wound. Her sister, Tonya Lamb, says the family is still getting over Tracy McCoy's death.
Surreal is the word of the day.
Tonya Lamb will never forget what happened here outside her mother's home on Thursday when a shooting injured her sister and killed her cousin, Tracy McCoy. McCoy, from Wake Forest, was napping in another room after staying the night at the hospital with her sick mother. Tonya's sister, Tammy Lamb Brown, showed up out of the blue.
But she surprised us because when she walked in the door, we were still on the phone together.
The three women chatted for hours until Lamb left to do some chores.
I never would have thought that I would be seeing my cousin for the last time, hearing her voice say, bye, Tanya.
McCoy and Lamb Brown then left, headed to their cars just steps away from the house. That's when a car pulled up and someone shot the women and the house, hitting the ceiling and entertainment center. Tammy's mother rushed out and called 911, but McCoy did not survive. Despite their loss, the family still prays for whoever pulled the trigger.
He's a human being just like the rest of us. And obviously he is headed down the wrong path. He's in the wrong way. I would have to say that I forgive you and God bless you.
Though she's forgiven, Lamb says she'll never forget the pain her family feels and the memories and moments she had with her cousin Tracy she can never have again.
Everything. Her laugh, her encouragement, her tenacity, she was just a go-getter. Everything. Everything.
Both Lamb and the Wilmington police maintain the two women were innocent and caught in the gunfire. And it was a big weekend for the arts in the Cape Fear. Dozens turning out for the Magic Cheese Film Festival. This sounds weird, I like it. In Wilmington, attendees were treated to a collection of short films focusing on youth cinema creators. The event was held at Django's Playhouse on Princess Street and provided the sold-out audience comedy and action films sent in from all over the world. A handful of students created one film over the course of 3 months as part of a class at the Dream Center for Arts Education. They say the entire process has been a blast.
We loved putting it together, if you can't tell. We all became friends through it. Yeah. Way more people than any of us were actually expecting to come, since we're just a bunch of teenagers who just put this together through an art program.
The group says they would encourage anyone to take the Dreams program class and are proud to see so many people appreciating their hard work. Now, speaking of hard work, one church in Carolina Beach putting together the Journey of Bethlehem live nativity for the second year in a row. The Carolina Beach Seaside Chapel event is free to anyone. Organizers expect more than 2,000 people to visit over the next few weekends it's open. The nativity features live animals and in-character church members who act out the little town of Bethlehem. Church pastor Jerry Vess says with all that's going on in the world, it's important to focus on what really matters this time of year.
I really hope that this kind of brings people back to the center of what Christmas is all about joy and love and the gift of Christ, and really bring a sense to community.
If you weren't able to make it out this weekend, don't worry. The live nativity will be open from 5 to 9 Saturday and Sunday for the next 2 weekends. And the town of Leland invited community members out to enjoy Founders Park illuminated with lights and holiday cheer yesterday evening. The annual Leland and Lights display brought a large crowd to the park for the festive walking tour. As the clock struck 6, Santa Claus flipped a light switch and lit up the park. Attendees were able to visit Santa's workshop, giving him their wish list this year. People also had the opportunity to hop on the Leland Express, taking a train ride around the park. WWAY spoke with some event attendees and got a chance to hear from the big man in the red suit.
It was amazing. I loved just how it all illuminated at once. It made me happy because I haven't seen a tree lighting in a long time.
Oh, I enjoy all the children anywhere I go, and I try to fulfill all their wishes because they've all been good no matter what they do.
Leland and Lights will be held through January 10th, beginning at dusk every evening. For more information, you can head to our website at WWAYTV3.com. And coming up next on WWAY, motorcyclists hit the road for a good cause. And a major fire hopefully under control. We'll have more on that after the break. Thanks for spending your Christmas Eve with us. I'm Peyton Furtado.
And I'm Sydney Bouchel. Good evening. Hannah Patrick has the night off. It is Christmas Eve around the Cape Fear. Folks are celebrating with beloved holiday traditions.
And one tradition many hold near and dear to their hearts, I'm sure you know, Christmas Eve church services.
Absolutely.
This evening, First Baptist Church of Wilmington was among the hundreds of local places of worship to hold a Friday night service. This was the first time since the pandemic they've held a Christmas Eve service. To spread out their usual crowds, they met up at 3 and 5 p.m. and they'll hold another tonight at 11. It's their tradition to end the Christmas Eve sermon with lighting candles and flooding the sidewalks of downtown with light while singing Silent Night. After a year of streaming services online, ministers and churchgoers alike were excited to return to the custom.
So I've been here a long time. Tonight I was able to see some people as adults bringing their children to the front to hear the Christmas story read to them as small children, and I remembered when they were small children. And so some people return here, they've moved away, but now they come back as adults, and they come back to the house of God.
To hear all our voices singing out together the love of Christ, that is what is so special. When the lights dim and it's just the candlelight, it's a really beautiful moment.
And if you happen to be walking along Market Street tonight, you'll see those candles file out of First Baptist again just before midnight. And while people across the country are eager to get together for the holidays, many are weighed down by grief after COVID-19 took hundreds of thousands of lives.